let me just go after this and figure out what I can do about this one particular area. But no, I got you. You have a very intense past. No, I've never experienced anything like that. Never. That's
because other relationships that I have spent time in, that was never a question and never a problem. That's not it. Never been an issue.
Yeah, no.
So
I've never even heard of it until you. Never.
Yeah, but the thing about it is a very real issue that does show up very, very often. And here's another thing. We talked about emotional detachment. So a woman who's having an emotional relationship with someone else. A lot of times when their emotions have left going to another relationship, their physical direction also changes.
But think about that exactly as it applies to us. So if their emotions are with us and we've held on to those and we're nurturing those and cultivating that relationship with them emotionally, that's wherever your treasures are, that's where your heart is.
You're listening to the Conversations from the Cave show with host Kirk Kennedy and the CFTC crew. CFTC is available for digital download on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker.com. Want your church or men's group to host a CFTC Live Man Up conference? Contact the crew on Facebook or visit provoxmediagroup.com/manup2018. Now, back to the Man Cave with Kirk Kennedy and the CFTC crew.
Wherever your investment is, that's where your heart is. So if I'm investing all of this time and this energy into my business, guess what? I'm going to get results out of my time and my money, my results out of my business. If I'm investing my time in my children and my wife, I'm going to get those out of my children and my wife.
You think so? Well, you would think so, unless the vessel is empty, and that's the thing that I think we have to look at on those unique occasions, because they're
very unique. And I want to express that to everybody out there. He dealt with a very, very unique occasion. I do not want to turn somebody off to investing in their children and their wife because they think, oh my God, my wife's not going to have sex with me for 3 years.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it is absolutely imperative to recognize that communication needs to be very open and needs to be extremely, extremely coordinated in terms of how we reach, how we put our minds together. So as we talk about the other aspect of this, Nola, let's talk about this. If you have believed that you have done everything that you need to do, right? So you found out that, we need to take it a little slower. We need to put in a little bit more time. I'm too tired, or she's too tired or whatever. So let's just say that we put all those things together. At what point do you feel that there is an obligation, or is there ever a time where there is an obligation for a wife to meet husbandly needs?
There's definitely a time frame. I'm gonna use an example because I have a lot of them.
Okay.
Where I actually went through, and this, like I said, when I use my examples, I'm using stuff that either I know,
sure,
is something that I've lived or something that I'm currently going through. So there's an example where I actually went to the woman and said, "Hey, listen, I found myself looking at another woman.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself talking to another woman, and not that I can't have conversations with the other one,
but you understood the direction
that I wanted to go
in. Yeah.
So what do you intend to do about that? Because I'm looking at this other woman so that she can satisfy one particular need.
Which is a need that your wife could easily take care of.
However, I don't want you to give it to me
under the basis of obligation.
Under the basis of obligations, and I don't want you to give it to me without being involved in it.
Yeah. Like,
Now-
oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go, and there's no emotions.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Yeah.
So, second thing is, and I heard you say this is a few minutes ago, once a woman moves emotionally, then physically everything else moves in that direction.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's true. If you give it to me and I'm not emotionally there, then I treat you, which is supposed to be mine in my possession, like you're someone else in the street. So don't
Yeah.
allow my emotions to go too far, because then you get treated like someone that I don't care for.
Exactly.
So
Good point.
you
Very
know
good
what?
point.
Now you have said a word right there, because I
That's
think a
huge.
lot of women
Oh, yeah.
need, if this was a show about that women are going to check out, because right now we've got 55% of our listeners women, which wasn't the plan, but
Right.
but you know,
But we're okay with that.
we're okay with that. Join us and stick around. It only gets better from here.
The single guy.
No. Oh no.
Okay, I'm sorry. That sounded so bad. That sounded so bad.
No, I'm gonna let that one go just right now. You got me on that one, though. You got.
But once I see that picture, man.
that's
That's it. Once I see
funny.
that picture.
That's funny. So let me just say that I want you to reiterate that, or actually, I'll reiterate it,
Go ahead.
because what was profound about what you said is a lot of women will not look at that ministry of taking care of the physical needs of her husband as an important ministry. They'll see it as a job or a labor that doesn't really require a lot of attention. And what they don't recognize is that they are literally creating a volatile, unstable situation in their home life, the very home they're trying to build, when they don't take care of the home builder. And the thing that I think is critical is that you got to recognize that this isn't just something that's way off to the, oh, he's just bothering me again. Don't look at it like
Please
that,
don't.
because what that does is that communicates that, one, the man isn't important. Number two, it in priority, especially if you're devoting 99.99% of your time to kids. If you've got no time for your man at some point is not going to have time for you. And even if his body hasn't left, his mind has. And then a lot of women are wondering, well, why doesn't he take time, and why isn't he romantic with me anymore? Notice I put that on the end. And it's like, well, he's not coming home anymore. He's working late. Well, somebody else is meeting his emotional needs. Something else is meeting his emotion. If it's not, going to be met at home, I would definitely consider finding some other place to have it met. I'm just being real as a guy.
You yourself saying you would do that.
I would say, I'm not suggesting that you should, but I'm just saying, you'll find substitutions. And then you hear about women who say, I become a work widow. Have you heard that term?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Work
because
widow.
that's me.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's me right now.
A work widow. So you got a guy who's ambitious, and then he has a woman that loves him as being a regular guy, but then finds out that his job becomes more important, and he's providing all the necessary niceties of life, but he's never home to be with you, and he's not taking that time. And I think a lot of women don't realize that, there's always this push-pull. There's push-pull. There's a push for resources, and then there's a pull of wanting to have the romance of home life. There's always this push-pull. And if you don't have a situation where there's some balance in the pull, one of the biggest things women have, to pull a man home is to take care of his emotional and physical and, needs. So if those things are not being met, it may be very, very difficult to continue maintaining his attention.
The Conversations from the Cave Show is produced by the Provox Media Group. The Provox Media Group provides custom digital media and production services to ethical businesses around the world. For more information, call 256-361-9127 or visit provoxmediagroup.com. Now, back to the Man Cave with Kirk Kennedy and the CFTC crew.
I want to say this too to the women out there too. I found that when I told the guys this, and we were just eating at Arby's.
Shameless plug. Hey,
when I first at Arby's. When I first used to come home, I used to I'd work and I'd come home and the kids would all run up to me, and the wife and everybody want to talk to me. One time we had 2 dogs at the time that all want to come up to me at once, and I remember just kind of pushing everybody away. Hey, I just want to be alone right now. I don't want to be bombarded right when I get in the door. And that was satisfaction for one person, and sad faces on 5 other people or 4 other people,
and 2 dogs.
Yeah, and 2 dogs and 2 animals. So now, though, the past probably 2 or 3 years, I reversed it and I began embracing those things. And I said, you know what? I'm going to listen to your little story. I'm going to listen to my wife tell me about whatever was happening on at work. I'm going to listen to my kids tell me all about the little thing they made that, doesn't interest me whatsoever, but it interests me because it interests you.
Sure.
And I'm going to let these dogs that are trying to claw at my leg, I'm going to kneel down, take the time to kneel down and pet them all, each individually. And embracing that has changed so much. And so I want to say to women out there, the same thing when it comes to sex with your husband. If he says, hey, I want to be with you, don't just be like, oh, God, it's another thing. You know what? My husband wants to sleep with me. My husband finds me desirable.
There you go. There you go.
He loves my body. He loves things about me. And you know what? I'm not just going to treat this as a chore or a task. I'm going to embrace this thing.
Preach it.
And guess what? And when you do, you'll find something. Whoa, he I didn't know what to do.
I'm going to just add to that.
You said something right there,
because he
bro.
said a mouthful.
He did.
Now,
he did. That's absolutely right.
Just the embracing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men out here that can care less, especially in today's time, about a woman's body after having kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
If your husband still finds your stretch marks desirable,
the extra 10
don't
pounds,
bother me
and
at
he's
all.
not worrying about it, and he's working with it,
right?
Why are you shunning him to the side? Why are you wanting to cut the light off when it's time to make love? Why are you wanting to creep in the bed with, mama's ground on when this is something that y'all planning? This is the night y'all planning to have something going on.
If
he's not asking you about none of this. He's not saying
your nails aren't done.
No.
This ain't done.
I'm not saying that there are men out there that's not saying, "Oh, you little fat son," Those guys are out
those
there.
Those terrible guys.
Those are the knuckleheads.
That's right.
However,
That's
you
true.
do have men that say, "You know what? My wife is still beautiful." I understand. If he gave you 4 babies, obviously
there's going to be some
he's
change.
There's a lot of changes. We know there's not a lot of Beyoncés out here and a lot of, Serena Williams, but these people have money to go and get special trainers to put their body, and they got plastic surgery and all of this other stuff.
Yeah, they have personal trainers and everything else. Yeah. No, I got you. I hear you.
You got a man that's saying, babe, he's still rubbing all of your stretch marks. If it's caramel lotion you want on it or cocoa butter, he's rubbing it. He don't have a problem with it. So I'm saying that to say, women, sometimes, a lot of men are not worrying about that. However, you can go out and you can get a knucklehead brother that'll only tend to one need. And it's sad because you will respect that person more because he's treating you bad versus the one that's right there treating you kind. And that's the problem that I have.
Right.
Yeah. That's a big problem.
That's a big problem because people oftentimes, and you're talking about people taking advantage and taking you for granted. And see, that's the thing that I think is why a lot of men, when they are passed over for the physical, they feel like, man, I'm working hard. I'm coming home. I'm being faithful. I'm doing all these things. And you mean to tell me that just spending time with me is a chore or is a task? Yeah. And then it's like, well, dog, man, I mean, and then, but guaranteed if somebody else who all day long is asking you, hey, how about we go spend a little time? And you're like, no, I'm going to head on home.
Exactly.
And then you get home and the person at home is like, no, don't be bothering me with that. I've been dealing with kids for 8 hours.
That's exactly what I'm saying is when you take that time and you say, I'm going to grab this thing
as an opportunity.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to nurture. I'm going to do everything I can. This man wants me. fine. I'm gonna give it all.
Give
That-
it
I'm telling you,
110%.
you will find
that you'll
you
get it much
enjoy
better.
things.
Right.
Oh man,
a whole 110%
and
more.
your husband